This will teach me for rushing into a deal again. I need to stop doing that. This frame's all wrong. In grouping things together so I know what's what, where, and all the rest of it, and what I'm missing. That's not original. That isn't for that bike. I don't even know if these are the originals of the bike. They look it. Whoever pulled it apart, or rephrase that, has chafed up all the metal up here. All the thread has gone. I'm back, guys. I spent a bit of time yesterday doing a video on the reasons why I wasn't going to do any more videos for a few months because of this bike test. I want to concentrate on that, and I just thought it would be nice to do a project without having to get the camera out every 5 minutes and so forth. Unfortunately, somebody made a comment yesterday about how nice it was to see another video. I appreciate it, I really do. I genuinely want to get away from them for a period of time, the videos, because they are really getting on my wick. Can't afford, and this is not a begging letter to you guys, right? Just misunderstand this, I'll get back to it eventually. But with the economy the way it is, at the moment I can't afford to go back to the lorry, nor can I do the rat rod. Which is why I'm doing my bike test, and this is why I'm doing this. Anyway, since the last video that was all talk and no action, I got the shocks. These I found in my tubs. I did not know that I had them. I went through this late last night, and I found quite a few little bits and bobs that might just be enough to salvage this machine. I need to get some new bolts and new heads. I don't know what the threads are. They're not M threads on this thing. I don't know if they're UNC, whether this is an American frame. I don't know what's going on with it. There's a lot of discrepancies, I suppose. Tabs have been welded on, which I wasn't expecting. Different types of brackets are on this. I don't know. I'm just going to build it up anyway and use it. So one thing I am going to do though is I'm going to add some extra welds to it, because I don't like that. That wants a full blast of welding there, in my opinion. Maybe here, there. I just got to finish touching up there, and I'd like to fill them in as well. I just would like to see more weld on here than what they've currently put on, because it's a production machine. They kept everything down to a minimum to save time, in order to save money, in order to make them cheap enough to be sold on when they were brand new. As owners ourselves, we can now do the extra that if we need to. It's a very early Japanese. The quality should be better than, well, any of the Chinese stuff that's coming out at the moment. So yeah, I'll put the shocks on. I'm going to lay the engine in later. I'm waiting for my lad to get home from his voluntary work. He works at a charity shop, so he'll give me a hand to put that in. Once we've got that in, we are then going to make the foot pegs. I'm just looking for one. Hang on, bear with me. Oh, where did that go? Did I not laid it out? No, I couldn't have laid it out. There is a foot peg. The foot pegs, they're weird because they bolt onto that, and they've got a little triangular piece, I think memory serves, that clips onto that. I'm sure that's how they work. Not 100% sure. But I've got to make some new ones, and they're very similar. I mean, they're anything around 25 quid each, so it's another 50 quid I didn't want to spend. Very similar to this. I don't know what they come off, I can't remember. They're very similar to this, but I think I can make my own. So I can make up the shaft, I can then get an old spindle bolt and weld it to the shaft, shape it necessarily, and I've got these. I've actually got the originals for this in the box over there. But someone's cut the ends off, you know, this bit here, so I will re-weld them back on, so we'll have something similar to what was original but not exact. But I need to get the engine in first, because I need to set the brake height properly so I know where the actual foot pegs are going to rest. And I've also got to figure out the gear selector on this as well, because I'm not sure if it's got a gear linkage to it that comes off the pedal, or if it is just literally a straight gearbox selector onto the gearbox itself. I ain't actually sure on that. Right, well the engine's in, as you can see. It isn't bolted down properly. The reason it's not bolted down properly, I'm missing so much. The brackets. There's a triangular set of brackets. I had them in my hand just now, I've only got the one. Oh well, pull it. Look at that. Probably underneath here somewhere. Oh, hell bells, where did I put that? Go. So I'm missing one of these. That goes on the inside edge of that bolts in through that side, and there's another one that goes in through that side. I'm assuming at this point it's one long bolt. Speaking of bolts, I ain't got it. I've got this one. You can clearly see that ain't long enough. Got a feeling this one, and there should be another one, belongs to these bits here, but they feel, I don't know, we'll see. Possibly not sure. We are missing a lot of stuff, and at this point, if I wasn't into engineering and I didn't know how to do certain things, I think at this point I'd be stuck and I'd be saying enough's enough and putting this on the internet for sale. For somebody who actually has a scrapper, one of these lying around, because then they could take the two machines, because this needs a second machine ideally that's shot, and build one up from scratch. But I'm lucky in the sense that I do know how to use a grinder, drills and all the other bits and pieces. So at this point she's now going to start to lose her originality, and there's nothing I can do about it, because all of these silly little things that are missing could mount up to a couple £100. Buying them all individually on the internet. I mean, I could buy a bulk kit from a strip down, what they call it, hardware kit or whatever they call it, but it doesn't mean it's going to have all the brackets and everything else that I'm short of. So with that in mind, I think we are now going to have to start building plates, and we're going to have to start buying long bolts, and we are just going to have to start ignoring the fact that I am not going to be able to put this together as an original CB550. So it kind of gives me creator freedom in a sense, but I do want this MOT exempt. Right, end of the day, pooped, but ain't really done anything. Brain taxing more than anything, because you're trying to figure out what's missing and where things go, and I've got no book to work with at the moment. Guy on Facebook has accepted my offer of 140 for another engine. That's pretty cheap. Don't care if it's seized. He says it isn't, but I don't care if it is, because just want it for spares in case anything is needed for this, because this is an unknown. We've got one more bolt to do down there, and I don't think it's the right bolt. I don't actually know what that bolt is from or for. I also have two bolts left over. Those two. One of them may have come out of a box over there, but the other ones, yeah, I don't know what that's for. Not a bloomin' clue. I know there was a bolt for the swing arm, but when I bought the swing arm, I had one given to me with the swing arm, so it could be looking at, no, that one, yeah, that one, that's a swing arm bolt. Look at the bolt head, so okay, that's a swing arm. Don't know what the other one's for. Can't find a home anywhere for it, unless I've got the wrong bolt down there, which is possible. Also, we've got a spacer to make. If you look down in that area there, possibly see a gap, maybe not, I don't know. I can see it. Anyway, got a spacer to make for that, but I don't want to do any more until I've got this brake pedal set. I'm a bit confused with the brake pedal, because we've got an eyelet there and a hook that side. I assumed the hook was for the brake switch, but I don't know where the brake switch goes. Also, clutch cable, the outer cable retainer. Oh, that might go on the carburetor, thinking about it, possibly. I'll have to have a look at that. But I did wonder if it was that homemade bracket there, that you see that one there, look. Wondered if maybe I got to come off that, or the original bracket that goes there, come off that, because I'm trying to save some money. Every nut and bolt is now in place. The engine is tightly buttoned down apart from that one bolt down there. So tomorrow I am going to go through some online manuals that I found. I ain't got any paper ones in front of me at the moment. I've only got the online ones, and we'll see how that whole mechanism works. In the meanwhile, I don't want to put the back brake in just yet. Back wheel in yet, because I've got nothing supporting the front. I mean, the engine is fairly heavy, so it might not fall off the bench. I don't know, we'll have to see where we go. We need to drag it a little forward, and we need a bit of a clear up because we're getting a little messed up now. Can't do a fuel tank, I ain't got one. No seat, ain't got that. Had a brilliant idea with the mudguard, but we'll put that to practice at a later date. What an image, huh? Getting there. Very slowly, we are getting there. Right. Back wheel is laid in temporarily. 2 reasons. I want to get the brake set and the lever down here sorted out. That's just a reinforcement, you know, hold the hub in place. The other one is mudguard. We want the mudguard in. Don't have a seat yet, don't have a tank yet, but I need to keep moving forward, you see. So now I've got an idea of how this is all going together. We will start looking at the mudguard side of it. Okay, well, that one, it didn't work. Actually, it was a complete mess. Yeah, I've got no excuses. Anyway, I've gone back to the trailer mudguard. What I did is I split it, and with very low power joined back together, and then with high power welded up behind, which didn't go so well, but it sort of works. Bit of filler on that, some decent paint. I think it'll work well. I'd preferred it if they were chrome. We could still get the original mudguards for this. They're not that expensive. I mean, they start second hand from 50 quid. The plastic piece is about between 18 and 30 quid. I mean, we could still do that. I don't want to dismiss it, but I want the mudguard high. Okay, so I've ground it all back, put the belt over it as well, so I'm left with all the low points there. It should be easy to fill up without too many issues. Just got to sort out under here, it's a bit iffy. Don't know if you can see that. That's the plastic mudguard that they have on these bikes, and that part there is how it bolts on, I'm assuming, to these bolts here, and then this bit, well, these 2 flat pieces guide in there, I'm assuming, and then this bit here goes in down there. Now I've got a battery tray to put in, and that electrical panel that I'm waiting for, that won't be here until the middle of next week because the guy's on holiday, and I kind of need to get that figured out. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to bolt this up here. We're going to leave that flapping for the moment, and then I'm going to move on to the brake itself, this bit, and the structure underneath to hold the hub in place. I think this is going to look good. We might just get away with it after all without all the other components. If I do 4 cuts, that'll almost where it needs to there. I can trim the bottom off. I can make up, because I've got to weld that all in. I mean, I don't have to do anything other than that. I would like to put some rubber mounts under there though. I'm not particularly happy with the way that is. And I've also noted that when I fill that, it's going to crack the filler. So I'm going to have to do something under there that's a block of rubber or something. I don't know what at the moment. I mean, we can cut some strips of rubber out. Resolved that. Welded a big old block of steel on that. Laid that in there flat and then welded around it. The weld's not so great. I will cut that clean at some point with the flapper disc, and that will be good to go. Now I don't think I am going to do any more to that mudguard because I'm still flipping concerned about the amount of clearance I've got. I need that battery tray, at least the battery tray. Right, battery tray is in. I've had to mark, so I was right not to do any more to that. I've got to cut that square out so as this outer edge here can tuck in. Now you'll notice also that the battery tray has been molested. That's me, because that battery won't fit in, and I would like a slightly more powerful battery in it than what the bike is meant to have. So that's for that side, but now we've occurred this problem, I know we're going to occur the same on the other side. So that battery isn't for this bike. That battery was actually given to me as a replacement battery for the Vegas, but they got the wrong battery for that as well, so this is actually too small for the Vegas, it doesn't fit. So it's a spare battery kicking around. In fact, it's I believe it's exactly the same as the one that's in the Virago. So there you go, it's in, and I'm quite happy with that, although I've had to cut out a fair old chunk out of my mudguard, but we knew that was going to happen. We still might have to cut more away. The pieces I took out here, I'm not going to sling those, and that one and that one, because I might get away with reversing them. That way round, like that. So we might get away with shaping them and then fitting them in around. So yeah, not going to throw those. So next on the agenda is this. We're going to cut it there, we're going to rethread that, stick a nut on the end of there with a washer, and then we'll take that out, put a new split pin in through there, or cut a pin as some are known as, and connect it all up really. We've got no more hours, but things are not quite going the way I'd hoped. I've tried to make it so I can clip it into these pieces where the original mudguard would have gone, but it's just too damn difficult to get it to shape for me anyway, so I kind of abandoned that idea. What I could do is put a piece of steel in there and rivet, just literally drill a hole there, rivet it in, that way I'm not taking anything away from the frame itself, and then have a tab come off there with a nut and bolt so it could be attached. But to be honest, what I think I might do instead is run a tab off of here through there. I don't think that hole is being used. I think it's for the air filter box, and I've since tried the carbs and I can get away with K&N, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so that's the last and final job of the week done, but I'm not happy with that, not one little bit. The threads are all jaggedy. When I put that nut on, that went past the threads and is now sitting on the rod. I don't even know what the hell is going on there. It's just spinning. This, I don't know, the whole thing, it just doesn't feel right. Even this doesn't feel like that's the correct one for that, because it's moving around. I'm pretty sure, to be honest with you, yeah, the whole size is bigger as well. That would, there you go, see what I mean? Look, it's fell out. It's fell out. Too dangerous. We can't rely on that. Okay, so that's something I am going to have to order, whether I like it or not. Can't skimp on the bloody back brake, that's just suicide. Right, well that's it for the week then, guys. I don't think there's anything else I can show you. I've got a few other things to do, but we need that to tie over for next week, so I'm going to look online tonight, see if I can find another brake rod complete with the rear nut and everything, spring, because I ain't got a spring for it either, and hopefully we'll have that acquired and sorted. We know where we're going with the mudguard, but we need the rest of the components to go on before I can go any further with that, so we are currently now stuck on the mudguard. I've got to trim the back up, I could do that. What else is there? The exhaust system. I'd like to sort that out. There it is. Somebody has cut that right down. I don't want it that small. I want a little bit of length to it. So I might probably flap it up anyway, but see if I can cut that trumpet off and put a longer trumpet system on it. It's the original exhaust for this, so I've got to go up in that loft because I'm pretty sure there's a couple of exhausts up there that will do the job. I mean, it might not be a trumpet, thinking about it, a gold wing, totally different kind of style, but that's what needs to go on here. We don't want a loud bike. Love a loud bike, but we don't want it loud, actually. I would like it inconspicuous. After what I said about what we're using this for. Exploring. I don't want to be heard. Having a rancid, great, noisy engine is just going to draw attention to me. So, yeah, not happening. And we'll pick this up again on Monday. Me wiring harness for the main board should be in tomorrow, but the other item won't be posted till next week, so I can't do nothing more on that, as I say. So with that in mind, I think we might just try and clean all the crap off of here, get an airline and blast that all out. That's not through me working, it was already like it. It's been sitting in a dusty shed with the lid off, so we'll see where we end up. Laters, thanks for tuning in.